Good evening, everyone. Well, 5 years I started venturing into Disney Plus hole. I have covered all manner of shows and films across the vast history, and now, with the holidays plural upon us, just about, I thought it would cover another one of my favorite of the classics, and a follow up, which, while not not the biggest thing ever, I am one of the people who enjoyed it. So, as I said, what you're going to see are the designs and pictures and stories that music inspired in the minds, the imagination group of artists, and so for this trip into Disney Plus hole, here is a double feature on on the films that bear the celebrated name Fantasia. So let's begin. While the first film was not a huge hit upon its release in the year 1940, as time passed, it got the recognition it deserved as how it blended both classical music with all manner of animated vignettes, which all told quite unique stories set different pieces of classical music, all without a single line of dialogue apart from um, introductions and by the musicians working on it, and including in conductor Leopold Stokowski and the Philadelphia Orchestra, uh, and the the opening segment is Bach's Toccata and Fugue in D minor, which sets a tone quite well, being a bit more abstract and how it moves in tune with the music, which definitely is among the many reasons why it didn't find its audience right away, but it did as time passed. I mean, if I had to make a good guess about when, a common mention of when it happened was the 60s, around the time it started getting re-released again, and and especially after the Beatles Submarine adaptation, where there was a market for not just families for these works, but also for an audience of older enthusiasts such as myself. How about that? And after that, we have Tchaikovsky's Nutcracker Suite, but rather than the ballet, and its iconography, ranging from the sugar plums to the snow fairies, we we have a very unique bit of imagery, which includes mushrooms, fairies of different ilk, fish, flowers, and leaves. That always stood out to me. He when I was younger, I definitely was among the people who saw the film on video, and it's also one I've still taken in whenever I get a chance to, as I did the other night. Right? And the most recognized sequence, as in the one that had the biggest impact on pop culture and even made a reappearance in the film's sequel, oh, oh, The Sorcerer's Apprentice by Paul Dukas, which features Mickey Mouse as the apprentice of the sorcerer Yen Sid, who takes his hats in an effort to help speed up the process of gathering water and cleaning things up with a broom. But of course, like any magic, like too much is of anything is quite much in the wrong hands. And I also see like a little bit of congratulations to Silhouette to Stokowski that he gives, and we'll come back to the appearance of this in a little while. After that, we have a sequence of Stravinsky's A Rite of Spring thing, and this one was kind of found unique because it was a very different depiction of the final days of the dinosaurs, and even the formation of the Earth itself. I mean, it was long before the more recent depictions, Emancipation Paleontology, even the time initially saw this, but they were seen as much more simple creatures at that time, even before or he, he faced their end. At the time, it was believed that it was a series of tremors and volcanic eruptions that were their end, and rather than the extinction level event of the meteor hitting the planet and subsequently causing said tremors, eruptions, eventually leading to an ice age. I'll just deal with boiling point as it comes. After a brief intermission with host Deems Taylor, her is also unique in and of itself. Hope knows me the soundtrack. We get the Pastoral Symphony, he, which is from Beethoven, where we have a look at the Greco-Roman deities, centaurs, satyrs, unicorns, pegasi, as well as Dionysus or Bacchus, only for the ceremony to be interrupted by Zeus or Jupiter, as well as Hephaestus or Vulcan, depending on which it's whether you look at the Grecian or the Roman origins of these bodies. After that is Ponchielli's Dance of the Hours, a comedic sequence featuring a ballet of immortalized animals. I realize I recorded this and posting this the same day as Zootopia 2 is coming out. We have them represent different times of the day: morning, noon, evening, and night by ostriches, hippopotami, elephants, and alligators, respectively. The film closes on the Herzogski and Schubert's Night on Ball Mountain and Ave Maria, which includes arguably another iconic element with Chernobog being functionally a devil, and I'm not going to lie. It's actually one of my favorite anime depictions of a devil in any work or in any animation company. And even as a very small child seeing this on a VHS tape and subsequent times watching it later, that left an impact on me for years to come. And while the film was initially planned to be even more frequently updated with new segments and even a national adaptation and called Musicana, that did not happen. What did happen, however, was over time the film got the success and recognition it deserved, leading to a sequel film, Fantasia 2000, which I actually saw in the theater when it came out. It was among the last films of like their decade-long Renaissance period, and in my honest opinion, it was a good one for them to help go out on. So let's begin. The film was introduced by Roy E. Disney, Walt's nephew, and I could definitely tell that it was something of a real bit of passion, much like it was for his uncle. I mean, it's less driven by what the market was doing and more of making something they wanted to make the way they wanted to make it, which is to me the ideal form of this. And of course, a lot of celebrities of the time I actually made appearances, several of whom Quincy Jones, James Earl Jones, and Angela Lansbury no longer with us, but even with the discourse of some people have expressed since then, I personally enjoyed seeing how they, they were portraying the segments, and where with Steve Martin introducing the concept, and a one Itzhak Perlman and and leading with he they also have the abstract sequence and being like Beethoven's Fifth, which also was like our this was from like the Toccata and Fugue sequence, more abstract at in shapes, and Respighi's Pines of Rome, where the flying whales. Of course, if I had to say my favorite of this second film, it would be the one set to Gershwin's Rhapsody in Blue, where we have a bunch of people living a typical day in depression New York City, and the visuals were inspired by Al Hirschfeld's drawings, and it definitely manages to show it sort of different perspectives, be it a laborer who is bolting girders by day and drumming a jazz club by night, an out of work businessman who was down on his luck trying to find jobs where aren't any, relatable, and having someone paying him for with his coffee that morning so quick he doesn't even get a chance to say anything, also relatable. Oh, a small child taking all sorts of classes with her nanny when she just wants to spend time playing with her parents. A man who is a henpecked husband dealing with pressures of his marriage, and but longs to spread his own wings, figuratively. And in a way, they all come together. They're I'd still really appreciate that. And even in the people all who are introducing these ones definitely have enthusiasm and material, like how there is as Bette Midler introducing Shostakovich's his Concerto Number 2 in F major, which is based on Steadfast Tin Soldier, where only a toy soldier tries to rescue his beloved from an evil Jack-in-the-Box. I mean, as I also, a little side here, as a fan of One Piece, I definitely know similarities between that and the story of Kiros and Rebecca, uh, especially during as someone who just recently finished his, the whole situation and with Dofi, and how he was essentially playing the role there and his underlings, Haynes and Dressrosa. But I am once again getting ahead of myself, as I have a tendency of doing. Up we have the Camille Saint-Saëns Carnival of the Animals finale, and also enjoy the reaction when James reads the note he was given by one of the musicians, and when he says just dryly, "Who wrote this?" He was truly one of a kind. And I also enjoy, in hindsight, since finding more and more out about them, and how they went from debunking in stage magic to debunking common misconceptions of Penn and Teller. I mean, even though the latter doesn't speak, including this in their introduction, the body language is priceless. As from cutting off the fake hand to clipping the ponytail and turning it into a small animal. I also will say that it's pretty seamless the way they go from the him the outro to The Sorcerer's Apprentice from because it was Uncle Walt who was the voice of Mickey to Wayne Allwine, who's been voicing him to some capacity close to my entire life, and with Tony Anselmo, of course, being the voice of Donald. We have the next segment, and Elgar's Pomp and Circumstance, which is Savitano's arc with him assisting building the ark, transporting animals almost during the Great Flood, and of course trying to reunite with his wife Daisy, who just keep missing each other until they won't. And the film closes on Stravinsky's Firebird Suite, which, again, a nice way of complementing his pieces in the original film, Holmes' usage. And again, while not maybe the biggest hit ever, however, it definitely has its fans, like Wall. And people still talk about what impact they have on us as viewers, and what impact we as viewers have on them, which I think is a conversation worth having, even if it's not always in the way we expect. Personally, I think if these ones help me develop an enthusiasm for film, animation, and classical music in one fell swoop, I think that is a very positive impact indeed. With that, I will acknowledge there are other things I want to cover in this series I've not got a chance to yet, but if I have to who push them back into who hack a bit for now, then that's what I have to do. Which is why I really want to get this out before then. So I wish you a happy Thanksgiving as observing, so take care everyone.